Okay, hello everyone.
How's it going?
I'm here at Co-Row, which is a Berkeley kind of co-roasting type of op here. I'm here with Jenny of Cosmic Dust, and today she's just going to kind of be showing us like how she does her roasting process. And we have a bunch of different coffees that she's going to go through. So different type of video, but should be super fun. And you'll just basically hear like her entire thought process on all of this. And get more exposure, hopefully, to how the heck do you, run a roasting operation as well as, sell your beans and all that. So.
Here. So you usually have to make sure that all 5 burners are burning underneath. And so all 5 are burning, and then I usually bring it back down. I'm roasting a new Ethiopia called Binko Gotiti, and it's one of those like prized coffees that I got it from Royal, and so they call it the crown jewel. So I'm pretty excited about this just because it has a lot of floral tones to it, and hopefully it'll turn out well. I brought 2 just so that I could dial in the second one, because I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, but my whole eventual goal is like a good light roast coffee. That way you can bring out all the nice floral and sweet tones that comes with something like this Binko Gotiti. So this is going to be the Ethiopia from Yirgacheffe. I got it from the Worka Sakaro washing station, and this is actually going to be my flagship single origin. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to actually try to dial it in 2 roasts as well. And so hopefully we'll get something good out of this stuff in it. But I like to also keep track of my own roasting profiles. I like to know kind of the rate of rise on my own too. And I always take note of time, because time is really what kind of dictates time, and then the gas that you add into the roast really dictates the coffee color and the coffee taste. So I pre-weighed all of the Ethiopias to 2.2 pounds because this is kind of the capacity of the roaster. You never want to go less than kind of the recommended. They have like a range, and right now I'm just doing the max recommended range just to get the most out of the roast. The last 2 over there. And then I like to cap this to kind of preserve the heat as you drop the beans in. And so I'm just gonna wait till it's a little cooler. The ideal temperature is kind of 400 degrees. Right now I'm a little hot. So I am gonna let that stabilize. But you can tell that like dropped 20 degrees by opening the door. Like for 2 seconds. And so that's the finicky part about smaller roasters, is like even just taking this out to view the beans significantly reduces the temperature. And so I like to not use this until like worst case scenario. Gonna let that stabilize some more. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna start my gas at 50% and then slowly increase it after I get to the turning point. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the beans. So I'm still at the drying time. I'm gonna wait till I get to the turning point to crank up the gas to like 80%. So I'm turning up the gas. Kind of to 80%, and I'm gonna let it run until I see the colors change. And when I see the first yellowing, I'll kind of reduce the gas until I hear the first crack, and that's gonna be kind of my considered lighter roast. How'd that Ethiopia taste for you, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
I actually haven't tried it yet. I was drinking the Seri Sky. That's like what I've been going through. I only have so much. I can only drink so much coffee.
The Seri Sky is like really, like that's why I decided to make it my flagship coffee, because like I personally am so in love with it, and I feel like I would only put out stuff that I personally like resonate with and really can advocate for, and so just like that Ethiopia Yoga Chef is just, it's just so good. That's why I bought like a whole, I dedicated myself to like buying a whole 100 pounds. But yeah, so a lot of this is just like waiting, and you can see my old curve versus my current one. And so my old one actually heated up a lot faster than my current roast right now. And that's probably mainly because this is the first roast. So that's why it takes like 2 or 3 roasts to kind of dial in. Because your roaster is getting used to just being utilized again. Now I'm just waiting for the colors to change. Usually I wait till kind of the 7-minute mark to dial down the temperature and then pay attention to first crack. And that's when I really pay attention to whether or not I want to drop the beans yet. And so first crack is really important for these Ethiopians, because before it gets there, it kind of gets underdeveloped. So I want to see if I could achieve that kind of light roast, but not over roast it or anything like that. I want to keep those floral tones. And I really copy my roasting style from a lot of those coffee roasters like April Coffee Roasting, Coffee Collective, and all of them. Like just like that kind of lighter floral coffee roasting style. So 370. So this is the browning part, and I usually like to keep on high heat, but now I'm trying to test a lighter roast, and so I'm gonna try and see what happens if I lower the heat just a little. Back down to 60. The thing I like about this roaster is you can hear the audible first crack. So this is the kind of time frame where I'm thinking about dropping the beans. So I press the cooling tray so that it gets ready. And then I drop the beans. So I get all the beans out, and then I'm gonna immediately start pouring in a new roast. If you want to see what what it looks like, but look at that, it looks good.
Okay.
Or you can see what that looks like. That looks so good. I actually really like that. Look at that. Okay, I want to take a picture of this.
Do another photo.
Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna drop this new one. So, okay, and then do you want to get this? I'm gonna pour this into this. Alrighty. I know, I never made one.
Hey, do you want to be in this photo?
Sure. I look so jaded. Yeah, so this is pretty much what I do. And I do back-to-back roasts until I'm all done. But yeah, I think I have high hopes for this kind of Ethiopia. I don't know if you can, let me put this up for you. But this looks great right now. You see, I was explaining to you kind of the light roast, especially the Ethiopias. They almost look like they have like brains looking. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty good light roast. Yeah. Oh, that smells great too.
Yeah, that smells really good. Oh, I should make those like day in a life video type of things.
Day in the life of a roaster?
Yeah, day in life of a roaster. You want to be?
Sure. I was like, come on over here. I'll take you all the way to Berkeley. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but this roast is roasting a little colder than the last one. So, but I'm gonna reduce the heat anyway, just to 70%. But yeah, with these drum roasters, you can hear that kind of the audible first crack and stuff, which I think is really awesome. Yeah, so the 1 and 2 initial kind of like let you know that you're getting to the first crack, and then after a couple more, I'm gonna let this run for another 30 seconds. It looks like it didn't get as hot as the last roast. I'm gonna set the chalbessa in. Okay, so this is gonna be my next roast, the chalbessa. This is also another Ethiopia that I think is really interesting. I got this from my buddies over at Little Buffalo, so really thankful for them. Yeah, this is gonna have interesting like plum plum notes to it, a lot of like the citrusy kind of flavors, almost like lemon in this ciabatta. So I'm really excited about this. Click save. Okay. All right, I'm gonna drop this one. Okay, I'm gonna take this out. Oh, this smells so great. Look at that. Alrighty. That's it for the Yoga Chef 260. And he lowers it every minute or so until the 8-minute mark. So I'm gonna kind of try that method to see where that takes me, because I really want just for it to reach that kind of light roast to bring out all the florals. With the Yoga Chef, I wanted to kind of get it a little on the darker side to bring on the more chocolatey tones of the Yoga Chef. But this one I want to just slowly creep to the light roast. So I'm going to reduce that down to 80. I'm going to reduce that down to 80 degrees, and I'm going to keep reducing it through until about 8 minutes, and that's kind of like the perfect light roast for an Ethiopian like this one. The upside to those sustainable electric roasters is once you dial in that profile, you don't have to manually adjust every single time after that. It just kind of runs it for you, which is an upside obviously for higher productions. But for someone like me who wants to get into the nitty-gritty of roasting, I like the ability to kind of control my roast in this sense, where I could slowly change the temperature and slowly kind of visualize the beans as they reduce. Yeah, this is like a new tactic that I'm trying, just like changing the gas every kind of step, just to see how it goes. I might use this same tactic on the Benkoko TT, because these are the two that I kind of want to keep the floral tones. This one, I'm okay with it also hitting chocolatey tones, especially for people who want to use this also as an espresso. It'll bring that right out. So you can hear the kind of first cracks coming in, so I'm probably gonna drop it pretty soon. Like not as light as I wanted it to be, but I'm gonna let it cool some more and then we'll see how it looks after that. So it's a little darker, so I might have lost a little bit of the floral tones, but not a lost cause yet. I'm gonna kind of do 2 runs of the Bangkok TT and hopefully I can get the profile that I'm looking to achieve. Okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to take a look at this. So this is a little kind of darker than I wanted, but this is still borderline light medium roast. I wanted it ideally to be this color, but you see it's a little on the uneven side, so I let it roast for a little too long. So this is still probably going to be a good medium roast though. Alrighty, that's the Chilbessa. I'm going to have to cut that later to see how that went. 54. How do you like hanging out so far?
It's actually a lot quieter. Like, this is a lot quieter than I expected it to be. Yeah, it works. This is like a workhorse.
Yeah, I know. It's just back-to-back roast, and I'm gonna hit the 1 hour time frame pretty solidly. I probably should have brought like 6 batches, but it's okay. I didn't know I was gonna be as efficient as I was, because usually I only fit in like 4 roasts, but I also had like a handful of dark roasts back in my shop back then, and so my turning point was 142. I'm gonna increase the gas. Minutes 90. Oh, not the Chilbessa. This one I have the cup. I might not even. It's not to the light roast that I wanted. So, but the Yoga Chef for sure is gonna be pretty solid.
What?
So what got you into coffee?
I think interning in SF for like 2-3 summers in a row, and then also going to school in SF really plays a role in that, where it's like, wow, there's a specialty, at least in the financial district, because I was working there, like there's a specialty coffee shop every block, I don't know. And basically I was like, dang, this stuff is really expensive. I definitely don't want to spend $6 on my latte, right? So then I looked into how do I make lattes at home? Mm-hmm. And then you like find out that there's those $100 espresso machines, and then people are like, those don't work, so you need to spend like $1,000 basically. And I was like, okay, I'll spend $1,000 and I'll be done with it. I'll get my like tiny little machine and the grinder, and that like really. And then I learned, and basically like that's what happened. And then I fell down the rabbit hole, and then now I'm here. Now I am doing work in the industry, so it's like, oh no.
I mean, how do you like it so far?
It's interesting. Like, definitely getting to work with small businesses. Well, like, there's only so many that I am working with right now. It's like very rewarding, and also get to learn. Like, this is such a great learning process. I find this stuff, like what you're doing right now, incredibly interesting. The problem is that like, because this is a retail space and there's COVID, it's like so hard to see immediate results. Mm-hmm. Like, that is really kind of what's frustrating me right now, but I'm learning. It's
yeah. Like, you don't need to overachieve everything, Brian. It's okay.
Well, that's why we make the videos. because the videos are fun. I love making videos. I love showing this stuff off to people.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you like this stuff. So I'm going to be approaching first crack in about 30 seconds. This isn't going to be my last batch, that one is, but I'm for sure going to... this batch was a lot more hands-on than I had anticipated. But this Benkoku TT is like considered the crown royal, like crown jewel, so... Farmgate? It cost me $7 a pound.
Jeez, that's expensive.
Yeah, so it's... I want to be able to manage this properly because this is what's gonna... This is what's the expensive one. So I just let it get to first crack and I didn't want to... Can I go any more than that? Because I didn't want to make the same mistake of over roasting this similar to the Telbessa earlier. And so hopefully this turns out well. I mean, right now it looks pretty promising. Yeah, this looks like a great light roast so far. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm gonna let it cool in there and then start this new batch. This is gonna be my last batch of the day. Well, thank you for tuning in for this last batch. Yeah, I'm really excited. When I sampled this Benkoku TT, it just blew me away. And so it's one of my favorites to kind of roast right now. So you can kind of see a little light roast. I need to let it sit here. It looks like I need to get more of that chaff off. Yeah, I always want to check if all 5 are burning because there's, I don't want to be heavy-handed and accidentally turn off all of the flames. And so I always want to check that. Yeah, this looks great. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. All right, I'm gonna pour it in. Okay, alrighty. I'm gonna drop these beans. This is gonna be my last roast.
That's actually a lot faster than I expected.
This whole process?
Yeah, doing dash to dash to dash.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes per, and then you let it cool and in there about 3 minutes. Yeah, I gotta make the most of my time.
50 bucks an hour.
I know. I'm excited about this last roast. Yeah, I guess we'll get back around 1:30ish. And now I'm just gonna, I dropped it at 8 last time, so I'm gonna drop it at 8 this time.
So we just finished roasting, and now we are cleaning up everything. All the chaff. Okay, so roasted a bunch of batches. Hello. But super cool place. They kind of, there's like this co-roasting space that even exists at here. And they like train you and everything too, so like you don't just roast blindly on something like this. And that's kind of like how it is here at Co-Ro. Cool. Okay, not gonna lose this. This is
the only thing that's closing that door.
This is the screw for the Mill City here. And we are waiting for the roaster to fully cool because it is pretty hot right now still. And then we turn it all off. Okay, definitely want to make sure that's clean.
Yeah, because that's where like the open flame is. So sometimes, you know, this machine's not perfect, so sometimes the chafe doesn't always get into the collector. And so you always want to monitor that little tray, because that tray can get hot and then the chafe can catch on fire.
Yeah, that would be bad.
So, thank you. The most important thing.
Alright.
I like this. I mean, it's pretty low maintenance. I mean, you get the chaff collector in the back, and then you get this tray here. Those are all like main two things you need to clean consistently. And then every now and then the drum needs to do like a full maintenance thing, but other than that, it's pretty solid machine. And you can do a bunch of back-to-back rows without having to worry about anything. I mean, this was like 5 back-to-back rows, and then there was only like a tiny mountain of chafing, so I think for yours you gotta like dump it every roast.
Yeah, it's like